my name is Nance Turner and I'm here in central London reporting from the People's Assembly March on this beautiful sunny Saturday. And I'm here with the GetPR group who will be marching along with the People's Assembly. So here I am with Alan, he's one of the co-founders of GetPRDone. So Alan, what is GetPRDone and what does it stand for and what is your mission?
Right. GetPRDone is a cross-party, no-party campaign group. We go out there and campaign. Now it's been a little bit difficult with the pandemic on, but here we are today coming out to campaign for proportional representation. Because this current system is deliberately very unfair, it's undemocratic. And what PR does, it means that the number of seats won by a party matches somewhat, and pretty close, to the number of votes you got. Whereas right now, there's no real relationship. You know, in this country we have minority rule. We have 43% of the people vote for the Tories, but they got 56% of the seats in Westminster. We think that's very unfair. Millions of votes are wasted. A lot of people say, what's the point of voting? Because we already know who's going to win. And PR transforms that so that, in fact, every vote counts.
The current system, first past the post, is an outdated system. It's hundreds of years old. It dates back to when it made sense to have hundreds of different contests across the country because there was no party politics and you were choosing which aristocratic landowner you wanted to represent that little shire or that, you know, whatever. There is absolutely no way that in the modern world, if you were going to be choosing an election system, that you would choose the system we have. It's ridiculous, it's completely out of date, so it needs to change.
In the last election, the Tories got 60% of the votes in Staffordshire. But what they did win is they got all 12 MPs. It's unfair. What it would be a much fairer system would be PR, which from Staffordshire would be maybe 7 Tories, 3 Labour, and 1 or 2 Liberal Democrats, and 1 Green. That would be fair, because that would be democratic. The number of votes cast would equal the seats won, and that's not what happens now. In the last election in December 2019, the Tories got 43% of the total votes. But they won, it's called a landslide, 56% of the seats.
So my sentiment is of course in favour of PR as a principle, but pragmatically, it's the only way we're going to defeat the Tories. And it's the only way we're going to manage to get some sort of alliance, some sort of electoral alliance, as indeed the Conservatives have done with the Brexit Party, in order to win the election.
One of the principal views of this group is that you need to campaign to have the Labour Party endorse proportional representation. Polling has shown that 75% of Labour members want proportional representation, so the appetite's there.
In my particular case, I'm 59 now. I don't think my vote has ever counted for anything, because the amount of people in my lifetime that have said to me, I'm not going to bother to vote, or I would vote for that party but they've got no chance. And obviously that's stopped people either voting or voting who they prefer.
And there are so many safe seats in this country where people's votes are just completely taken for granted. We also see political parties that sometimes ignore their traditional supporters. They're being taken for granted.
The thing is, like Germany, pretty efficient country, has PR, had it since World War II.
Yep.
New Zealand, 90 countries around the world use PR. The 3 big ones that don't are Canada, the United States, and the UK.
The Tories have been completely dominant for the last 11 years without ever having a majority support from the country as a whole. So I do think it would be a massive step forward for our democracy if we had PR. You would have to have a negotiation between different groups to decide on what the policies of those governments would be, rather than the current system where a minority can impose their will on everybody.
every vote should matter. That you shouldn't be in a constituency where you look at the ballot and see, I don't want to vote for them, I don't want to vote for them, and I don't want to vote for him or her, and then you don't vote. And a government is elected with a minority of people who cast a vote for them, so you get a party which does not represent you.
And I just want to ask him a quick question about a fairer voting system for the country.
Whatever party people support, I think it's really important that everyone feels that they've got a stake and a part to play in a democracy. And I think especially young people, after Brexit, I know a lot of young people, including my own children, were very disappointed about the rights that were removed from them to move freely and to live in other European countries. So I think that anything that increases democratic participation is a good thing.